What's going on, guys, and welcome to another Duel Links video. Today we are using a brand new deck to the channel, Amazons. Now, I've used this deck before back in the KC Cup and the World Championship qualifiers, back when Amazon's Onslaught was still at 3, I believe, and the deck was insane, tier 1. Almost nothing could beat it back then. There were a few good decks, like stupid Silent Swordsman OTK. That deck was just way too stupid and should have never been around, but oh well. Here we are in a duel against For Hire, and they haven't left the channel yet, guys. You'll still see some For Hire, even though they've been nerfed, and Beatdown also got hit too, with Beatdown being hurt, with only powering up the level 5 or higher monsters instead of the lower ones. It's gonna hurt. They'll probably just switch to Ties of the Brethren, but oh well. So we're going into the duel here. He's going to start with Beat and summon Wiz. Wiz, obviously, he wants to keep around to negate Amazon's Onslaught, which I flip up right now. Now, I start out with 2 Onslaught and a Treacherous Trap Hole. An amazing opening hand right there. I activate the Onslaught, wanting him to negate it with Wiz. He does. I bait him and activate Treacherous Trap Hole. So I target his Beat and his Wiz, and I will be able to destroy them both, since Wiz can only negate once per turn, and he also got rid of a card in his hand, so pretty insane right there. He goes for kind of a weird play, though. He uses Enemy Controller, tributes his Beat, and takes my Amazoness Swordswoman. I mean, I guess he's doing 1500 damage, but I really think that was kind of a waste of an econ. You'll see later in the game, if he would have saved that Enemy Controller for later, he probably could have just pushed for game. Really just have no idea what he was doing here, but I guess he thought it was okay at the time. So I get my Amazoness Swordswoman back, and it goes back to my turn here. I'm not really drawing too many monsters this game, but it doesn't matter. ODION, you really just want to have a whole bunch of trap cards, and you really only need like 1 or 2 monsters to stay in the game. I'm going to attack him with my Amazoness Swordswoman here, but he goes ahead and activates Widespread Ruin. Now this card here will destroy an attacking monster with the highest attack points on your opponent's side of the field. And since I only had 1, he's going to destroy my Amazoness Swordswoman. I really don't think Widespread Ruin is that good of a card in For Hire. Treacherous Trap Hole is obviously much, much better, since you can destroy 2 monsters. And Widespread Ruin can only be activated during the battle phase. Treacherous, you can activate it whenever. So, much more versatile of a card, much better. He probably just doesn't have access to the Treacherous Trap Hole. You get Widespread Ruin in the For Hire box, so that's probably why he's using it, but whatever. He's going to summon Seal and then summon Donpa. And then I'm not entirely sure, again, why he didn't put his Donpa in attack mode. Really, the Amazon monsters don't have that great of attack points. So, I don't know what he was thinking. He should have just been pushing for more damage. That's kind of Amazon's biggest weakness here, is that, they have low attack points, and you run out of life points kind of quick. I was playing Cosmic Cyclone in the Amazoness deck, but I kind of stopped doing that just because I was running out of life points too fast. I'm going to activate Amazoness Onslaught now. What this card does is, in the battle phase, you can special summon an Amazoness monster from your hand. It gains 500 attack until the end of that turn that it was special summoned. And any monster that your Amazoness card monster battles will be banished. So, really amazing card. The only reason this deck is even like tier right now. I banished the Donpa, which is crazy because now he can't Mayhem For Hire, can't bring him back from the graveyard. And with the Seal, with Seal's activating effect, bringing a card For Hire from his grave back to his hand, with Donpa banished, he can't bring it back. Donpa's a very scary card against Amazons, because if you destroy the Onslaught or the Queen, he can just attack for game. Luckily, Queen is going to stay on the field for a little bit longer since Donpa is not around. Now, Beat is going to summon Wiz, add Dinah to hand. Going to tribute the Seal for Dinah. And with Beat down, he's going to get pretty strong here. Kind of scary, Like I said, if he would have attacked with his stupid Donpa, I would have been at 400. He could have won the game right there, but he didn't. So, note to self, guys, if you're ever dueling Amazons, you go for as much damage as you can. You have to push them into very low life point range. Again, I gotta play around his 1 negate. Now, I'm gonna activate Wall of Disruption. A card he has to negate, or all of his monsters lose 2,400 attack points. But Amazoness Queen has an amazing special effect where Amazoness monsters cannot be destroyed by battle. So, when his Dyna attacks me, I'm going to activate Amazoness Onslaught, banish the Dyna, and I'm pretty sure he gave up at this point, because he had to negate the Wall of Disruption, had to get rid of the Last for Hire card in his hand, and that's really all he can do. Since I have 200 life points left, he can't do any more damage with Wiz, and anything he draws into will not help him, because he knows on my turn I'm going to banish the beat, and he cannot special summon anything, and really he'd have to top deck like a Dyna or something, and that's just not going to happen. So I drew like a Canadia or something, really just doesn't matter. This game's over at this point. Queen is going to attack beat, do some nice chunky damage right there, and banish beat. And Canadia is really just a safety precaution right now, just in case he's able to summon something scary to beat me. But, oh well, nothing really is going to touch me at this point. He would need to have, like, Pot of Greed, couple Pot of Greeds to even do something. He's just going to set a monster, and that's about it. Unfortunately, though, I'm not really drawing any monsters myself. I promise, I do play more than 2 monsters in this deck. I'm just not drawing them, and, you know, with ODION, you really just don't need any more. With his skill, Endless Traps, it's pretty insane just how, you know, the sheer power of all these trap cards will do against your opponent. Canadia being actually really amazing in this deck, because when you activate a trap card when Canadia is in the graveyard, you can special summon it back from the grave to use as a monster and attack your opponent for damage. Pretty insane. So, yeah, drawing another Onslaught does nothing. Drawing a Willpower does nothing. My back row is full. I'm just, you know, trying to get some damage on him. He leaves a card in his hand, though, which is kind of smart, you know, because if he has another play and he doesn't think that I can stop him, he might have actually been able to do something here. As you can see, he's going to summon his Dampa now. And if I couldn't have stopped this, it would have been insane, because, you know, he could have used Dampa to summon something else, destroyed Queen, and attack for game. But oh well, he's not able to because of Canadia. Now, Canadia will flip his monster face down in the defense position. All I need to draw now is 1 monster to get to kill the Dampa and then attack for game. And I finally draw another monster here. I get another Amazoness Swordswoman, and then Queen is going to banish the Dampa. In the battle phase, Amazoness Onslaught will summon Amazoness Swordswoman, and that'll finish him off for game. I didn't even need to set a card. I knew this game was over. Again, 1 card in his hand. There's just nothing he could do at this point. You know, if it was a Sphere Karibo, who cares? Nothing he could do, nothing he could draw. Just not even worth continuing the duel. But, you know, I applaud him for not surrendering, playing all the way through. It's a good, you know, good way to duel. Alright, moving on to the next duel here. We are going to duel Bandit Keith and a Spellbook Magician deck. Kind of an odd matchup. You would think that Amazons clearly have an advantage over Spellbook Magicians, because Silent Magician will negate a spell card, and guess what? I don't play any spell cards in my Amazoness deck. Now, Amazons did get hurt a little bit on the ban list here, but not enough. I really think that Baby Tiger going semi-limited was kind of not enough to hurt the deck at all. You know what I mean? I only play 1 Baby Tiger in the deck since I play the regular Amazoness Tiger. And yeah, just cutting 1 card out of my deck is really not going to hurt that much. You know, there are some good things that you can do with Baby Tiger to keep getting advantage. Baby Tiger is really good in the mirror match, but, you know, again, no one's going to play it or have it in the mirror match, so whatever. He's going to go here for Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Now with this card, you can add one Spellbook card from deck to hand. Pretty good. People are actually using this card in the regular TCG with combos for draw power with Spellbook of... Oh my goodness. Can't remember what it's called now. Yeah, I'll have to leave it in the comments or something. I can't think of what it's called. But anyways, you know, it's like Tribute to Spellcaster, Draw 2, whatever. He's just going to do his regular Spellbook plays. You know, he wants to get 3 spells in the graveyard so he can activate Spellbook of Fate and banish a card on my field. Now, banishing my monster is a really good play because Amazoness Onslaught doesn't do anything for me if I don't control any monsters, because I can't banish his monsters if he's not attacking one of mine. So banishing my monster is pretty good here, and he's going to use Spellbook of Power to get him up to 1,500 attack points. Not entirely sure why he set all his cards and then activated them, but oh well. Maybe he thought I had Cyclone or something. He's just going to attack me now for 1,500, get some damage in. I have a Treacherous set face down, and I think I had Onslaught or something like that. And yeah, Willpower doesn't do anything much either against Spellbooks, because they banish your monster instead of having it go to the grave. But if you get enough monsters, get enough advantage against Spellbooks, you're never going to lose against them. Especially when they do stuff like this. You know, just summon a 500 attack point monster and attack you. Really, you know, it's going to take them a long time to lower your life points. They need to have a turn 1 Silent Magician on the field to actually push for some good damage. And without that, they really can't do too much. Yeah, he's going to summon another Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. He will get another search, but I don't want to take too much damage, you know, because 1,000 will put me, 1,000 damage more would put me down to 1,500, which is, you know, all he needs is one Silent Magician with a card in his hand, and that's enough for a game. So I don't want to get my life points too low. Again, a big problem with the Amazon deck is your life point need to stay high. So, I'm going to draw here. And I want to add Treacherous back or get more traps, you know, back in my deck and hand. Because I have no monsters. I'm not drawing anything. Not entirely sure what's going on with my draws lately. If you saw in the last video, I drew like, what, 5 spell cards. Literally all 5 spell cards in my For Hire deck. Even though I played like, what, 14 monsters. Pretty insane. And again, I promised you that I actually do play monsters in this Amazon deck here. I don't just play trap cards. But it's what we're drawing, you know. I don't know. I'd have to look at my deck to see how many monsters I play. It's probably like 10 or something. But there is no reason I should be drawing this many trap cards. Oh well. So he's going to add some Spellbook cards to his hand. Really just trying to get a whole bunch of spells in his grave so he can Spellbook of Fate and do all of that fun stuff. He's going to tribute now for Silent Magician. Again, Silent Magician will not be negating anything this game because I don't play spell cards. I take the 1,500 because I think I'm going to like draw a monster and be able to do something next turn. Banish it with Amazoness Onslaught. But well, as you'll see right now, I don't draw a monster. Look at this. 1 monster and 6 trap cards. Oh man. What do you do, right? You just you gotta work with it. So I have to activate Canadia here and my Amazoness Onslaught. He's actually gonna use Spellbook of Fate now, and I was very worried that he'd banish my Canadia. But I'm pretty sure he goes for Onslaught here, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he banishes Amazoness Onslaught. Doesn't want me to banish his Silent Magician, because he wants to summon Silent Magician level 8. Now, with Silent Magician, if I remember correctly, it has to be destroyed for it to summon level 8. And if I summon a monster with lower attack points and still attack it, it gets banished still. But it's not destroyed, so he can't summon Silent Magician level 8. So Canadia, going to the grave, you know, after flipping it, goes back to his turn. He's going to flip Silent Magician I'm going to activate Floodgate Trap Hole because I do not want him to attack me for game there. No, thank you. And Canadia will activate from the grave to special summon itself onto my side of the field. Now, he has to do something here, because there's not too many monsters left in this guy's deck. I believe he still has one Spellbook Magician of Prophecy. Obviously, he's got level 8, and he's probably got another Silent Magician in there somewhere. Finally, I draw another monster here, the best one in the deck right here, Amazoness Princess. Like I was saying earlier, Amazoness Princess will add any Amazon spell or trap card from deck to hand. Obviously, we're going to add Onslaught, the best card in the deck. The only reason this deck is good. Like I said, Amazoness Onslaught will banish. Hopefully he doesn't tribute it, but no, he does. He draws another Silent Magician, able to tribute it, and he's going to attack me here. Now, I'm kind of in a weird situation here. I activate an Onslaught, and he is going to banish with Spellbook of Fate, right? Because he doesn't want to lose a Silent Magician. This duel would be over. So he's activating Spellbook of Fate here to banish my Onslaught. So I have to get rid of the Silent Magician somehow, right? I can't just leave this thing on the field. So I go for Wall of Disruption. So that would put him at 1200 and leave Amazoness Princess also at 1200. So they both destroy each other. And that will bring out his Silent Magician level 8. Now here, I have to get very, very lucky. Doesn't matter too much that Silent Magician level 8 is unaffected by spell cards. Once again, I don't play any spell cards in my deck. Canadia banished when it leaves the field. Fine, fine. We're going to draw a card here. And we're going to activate ODION skill. This skill is insane, guys. Endless traps. So, what it does is when you have 3 or more traps in your graveyard, one trap card is chosen randomly from your grave and added back to your hand, and the rest are shuffled back into your deck. Guess what card I get back? Treacherous Trap Hole. There's no way this guy can win the duel now. With no traps in my graveyard, I am free to activate Treacherous Trap Hole again. And I can destroy Silent Magician level 8. It is totally unaffected by spell cards, but not against traps. I can do all I want against this guy. So if he summons another monster, Treacherous both of his monsters, he's done for. And so right now I had my toggle set to on here. So it said right before the end of the main phase, going into battle phase, I activate Treacherous Trap Hole just in case he's like anti-magic arrows or something stupid like that. In phase, Amazoness Willpower here. This one will revive one Amazoness monster from the grave. It's like Call of the Haunted kind of. But your monster has to stay in attack and it has to do battle. And I bring out Amazoness Sage. This monster here, when it attacks after it battles, will destroy a spell or trap card on the field. Pretty insane. Get rid of his only thing and he surrenders because he has no monsters left. He can't do anything. Guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.